Let me just get started, and this is not going to be a long press conference at all.
All right.
Thank
you so very much.
I've had the opportunity, of course, to be here today with Brock Long, who is the top administrator from FEMA. Brock, I want to thank him for being here. Of course, we have Congresswoman Sheila Jackson-Lee of the 18th Congressional District. We've had an opportunity to talk with Mr. Long about the needs that exist in the Houston area, the importance of operating with the greatest degree of urgency, and recognizing that we are all partners in this process. And the people want to see all of us working together on the federal, the state, the local level. That dialogue has already begun. FEMA is already on the ground. I can't say enough for Congresswoman Sheila Jackson-Lee, who's pretty much been here every day, has an office at the George R. Brown, but we're all working together on behalf of the people in the city of Houston, in the region, not just in the city of Houston, but in the region. And I look forward to continuing this collaboration in order to get people back on their feet and get them back in their homes or back in their apartments and the businesses open. Brock Long, you want to say something?
All right, thank you. Folks, before I get started about talking about the bridge to recovery and the road to recovery, I want to first acknowledge those up in Beaumont and Port Arthur. FEMA is still fighting the response effort. We're still up there rescuing people. We're still trying to do our best to help the local governments and the state governments to be able to conduct the life safety mission and also sustain life. So there's a big move, there's a big movement up there. We're airlifting people out of certain areas of those cities up there, and so our hearts and prayers are with those guys today as they, as the collective whole community continues to help those folks up there being impacted. Today, the meeting with the mayor and the good congresswoman here is incredibly productive, and what it's about is that this is not FEMA's recovery. This is, the mayor's recovery. This is Texas's recovery, and we're here to help all Texans that have been impacted to achieve their goals, to find a new normal, and to help restore a ray of hope for folks. FEMA's assistance is not, unfortunately, going to make anybody whole. I can't restore things the way they were before the storm, but we can be here to help think through how we collectively help the city and other communities within Texas rebuild. Yesterday, I made an important decision to name Mike Byrne the Federal Disaster Recovery Coordinator for this event. And so the goal is to get a lot of decisions out of D.C. and to start setting up recovery command and control closest to where you guys have been impacted. And so Mike Byrne, I'm going to let Mike Byrne take it over from here. Again, he's the Federal Disaster Recovery Coordinator for this event.
Thanks, Brock. As the administrator said, we're still in the response phase. We're still, saving lives out there. But as we work together, saving lives together, we're going to work together in the recovery. The water's receding. We kind of expected and had an understanding of what we thought the size and scope it is. This is unprecedented. We're going to have to work together. We're committed to the partnership that both the mayor and the administrator articulated, and we're prepared to work together to get things back to the way they should be. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Mike. And another one of our partners, a key partner of our area, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson-Lee.
Mayor, I can't thank you enough, and I want to acknowledge my traveling buddy, Councilmember Amanda Edwards. We've been out in the field together, Mayor, in your name and in the name of the city. Let me just say this. This will not, thank you, Administrator Brock, and thank you for leading this with the mayor. This will never be an I event. This will be a we event. And the we event for all of you is what you've done for each other. And may I just offer a word of prayer and concern for all of those who lost their lives, rescuers, first responders, and those family members who lost their lives. And let me say that we will pull together. That is what is important about my presence here, being at the George R. Brown. We're pulling together with the county. We're pulling together with the mayor. They have done a stupendous job. But I am not an I here. We're pulling together with the congressional delegation. All of my colleagues who've been in their districts, not near here, but out where their constituents have been, as I stand here, I stand there for them, because we're making a commitment together to get this funding. I believe the dollars, and the administrator can't speak of money, but he can speak of numbers. And he's made a sacrifice for us. He has called in others that are scattered across the nation. I want to thank you for your sacrifice. People are already doing things, meaning FEMA. And he realizes it's a catastrophic event, and I've got to get him money. The members of Congress, the wees, have to get him money. And as the Vice President and the President have come, when they see, Mayor, what you have stood up here, what the county judge has stood up, what we're doing in the state, my challenge to them is sign the bill in a bipartisan way. Let me speak for my leadership because they're not here. The Speaker and the leadership on both sides of the aisle have called and said they are ready. The minority leader, the Speaker, have said they are ready to move forward on our resources. So the only thing we can do here in Texas is to work together and to be we and our and yours and no I's. And that's what I expect for all of us to be. My hand of friendship is out to whatever level of government, whatever community, and I want you to know that your members of Congress are out in their districts and they are unified along with our 2 United States senators to make this work. With your prayers, God's blessing, it will be the kind of recovery that no one has ever seen in the world, and as well, it will equate to the most significant, horrific natural disaster that I think America's seen to date. So thank you all very much. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you. Look, let me just underscore, we've had a very productive meeting. I want to thank Brock Long, the top administrator for FEMA, for flying in to visit with us today. Look forward to working with his entire organization, with the Congresswoman. But the whole thing is urgency, urgency, urgency. We all have to operate with a great deal of urgency. I know Mr. Long has to leave and catch a plane, so I'm not going to hold him. I do want to acknowledge Reed Ryan with the Astros who's here. And as you know, we're getting the city back on track. And I've encouraged them to play ball this weekend. They are playing ball this weekend, tomorrow, and I think they have extended an invitation to all of those in the shelter as their guests tomorrow as we play ball. So the spirit is they're playing the New York Mets. The New York Mets are in town, and they were serving food to the police officers, our first responders today. And so I certainly, as much as I love them and I appreciate what they were doing, I shall be rooting for the Houston Astros on tomorrow. All right, thank you all so very much. Thank you, Brock. Thank you, Congresswoman.
Thanks, Mike.
Mr. Administrator. Hey, Mayor. Mr. Administrator, $5.5 billion to replenish the disaster fund. How will that be used, and will that be nearly enough for what you need?
No, so the bottom line. What's that?
Just beginning.
We're just. You answer.
We're just beginning. No, it's not. That is a just beginning. We've got to get a disaster fund and an emergency supplemental.
How will it be used? Specifically.
I mean, the mayor will use the money, the county will use the money, the state, everything that you see that is here, all of the debris pickup, getting people back in homes, that's how our money comes, and it comes to the local government.
There are tremendous needs all around this city and in the region, tremendous needs. We've got people in homes that have been badly damaged, need to be rehabbed or totally rebuilt. We have people who live in apartments, and they need to get back into those apartments or find housing. There are people who are renters, and we need to make sure that they provide a transition. There are senior citizens and people that are disabled, low-income individuals. We need to make sure that we fill in the gap so that no one is left behind. Every single person, regardless of their socioeconomic background, is important. And that's why we're also raising dollars for our local relief program to serve as a gap where people may not necessarily get FEMA dollars, but we want to be available to assist them as well. So look, this is a family by family, person by person, but our goal is that no one will be left behind, and we'll work to make sure that everyone can stand up on their feet so that they can move forward. Okay? Thank you all so very much.
Questions? Thank you.